Hello children, hope you are doing well. Today we will start with the lesson Who's the Greatest? Children, I am sure you must have all heard about Akbar and Birbal stories. In this lesson we will read two stories about Akbar and Birbal. Do you know who is Akbar and who is Birbal? Let us read and find out. Emperor Akbar or Akbar the Great is known as one of the greatest rulers in the world. Not just because he had a vast empire, a very strong army, untold wealth, but because he was a good human being. He cared for his subjects. He had a great respect for scholars, writers, poets, and artists belonging to different religions. He was a patron of art and culture. The 9 gems or Navratnas in his court were famous. Many people believed that of these 9 gems, Birbal was the closest to the emperor's heart. Akbar loved to pose interesting questions or problems in his court, and Birbal never failed to come up with an equally interesting answer. We don't know whether all the Akbar and Birbal stories that we hear today have any basis in history. They have been handed down over generations, mainly by word of mouth. Now, children, let's see some of the meanings. Patron of art and culture means a person who appreciates, supports, and encourages art and culture. Untold wealth means wealth that is too great to be measured. Subjects means citizens. Closest to emperor's heart means emperor's favorite. By word of mouth means spoken rather than written. So from the passage we come to know that Akbar was one of the greatest emperors of the world. He had a huge kingdom, strong army, and was very wealthy. He was a kind and good person who cared for his people. He supported artists, scholars, writers, irrespective of their religion. His court was known for 9 gems or the 9 people on whom Akbar had great trust and who were very good in their own fields. Birbal is believed to be one of them and believed to be Akbar's favorite. Now this passage also tells us that we will know about 2 stories of Akbar and Birbal. But the passage also tells us that most of the Akbar and Birbal stories have been handed down by word of mouth, which means stories have been handed down verbally instead of writing. So we are not sure whether these stories are historically correct. Let's see the first story. One day, the emperor entered the court with a very serious expression on his face. As soon as he was seated, he said, "I have a question for all of you. What should be the punishment for someone who pulls my moustache?" The court was stunned. Pull the emperor's moustache? It was unheard of. "Flog him. Give him 50 lashes of the whip," exclaimed one nobleman. "That's not enough. Put him in jail without food and water," said another. Stunned means shocked. Flog means beat someone with a whip. Now, in this first story, we see that one day Emperor Akbar asked the people in his court what should be the punishment for someone who pulls his moustache. The entire court was surprised. They all started shouting punishments that should be given to the culprit. Whip him, beat him up, hang him. cut off his offending hands. The agitated courtiers began to cry. Only Birbal was silent. He was even smiling a little. "What do you say, Birbal? What is your opinion?" "In my opinion, O giver of peace to the world, the offender should be given his favorite sweetmeats." Agitated means disturbed. Courtiers means person who is part of the court of a king or queen. Offending means upsetting. Now in this passage we see that the people in his court, they kept giving different suggestions on how to punish this culprit. But only Birbal was silent. Akbar now asked Birbal for his opinion. And what does Birbal say? He says that this person should be given his favorite sweets. "In my opinion, O giver of peace to the world, the offender should be given his favorite sweetmeats." "Raja Birbal, are you out of your mind? Give sweetmeats for such a grave offence?" the courtiers began to say. Birbal smiled and offered an explanation. "Yes, who would be so bold as to pull the emperor's moustache? Only his own grandson." When Akbar heard this, he burst out laughing, because that is exactly what had happened in the morning. Grave offence means serious crime. Now all were surprised of Birbal's suggestion. What was Birbal's suggestion? He said, "Let's give this person sweetmeats." Birbal explained why he had given this suggestion. He said that no one other than the emperor's grandson can do something like this. On hearing this, Akbar was very happy and he burst out laughing because Birbal had guessed correctly who had done this crime. Students, with this we will stop here with explanation for this lesson. We will continue in the next video.